Dr. Anna Hayes sat alone in the dimly lit control room of the government's research facility. The room was filled with monitors, blinking lights, and the hum of machines, but her mind was elsewhere. For years, she had been studying alien signals, deciphering messages from deep space that no one else had been able to decode. It started as a curiosity, a fascination. But now, it was something more. The first transmission had come 2 years ago, an encrypted signal, one that didn't fit the patterns of any known language or code. Anna had been part of the team that first cracked it, and now, she was the one who held the key to humanity's first real contact with an extraterrestrial species. The message was clear but vague: "We are coming." At first, they thought it might be a threat. Governments scrambled to prepare for the worst. But then, the signal changed. It became a request for understanding, for knowledge, and for peace. The aliens wanted to know about us, about human emotions, the things that made us who we were. They had already studied our history, our technology, even our biology, but there was something they couldn't grasp. They didn't understand the heart of humanity. For weeks, Anna and the team tried to respond, to find a way to communicate in a way that made sense to an alien species with such advanced technology and intellect. But every attempt fell short. The aliens, known only as the Aritans, seemed unable to process the complexities of human emotion. They had never experienced joy, sorrow, love, or fear. To them, these feelings were foreign, illogical, and chaotic. Then, without warning, the Aritans arrived. Their ships entered Earth's atmosphere in perfect formation, silent and graceful, as if they were part of the very fabric of the universe. The world watched, waiting for the next move. Everyone was on edge, unsure whether this was the moment that would define humanity's place in the cosmos. Anna was part of the team sent to make first contact. The Aritans didn't communicate through words or gestures, but through thoughts directly into your mind. It was overwhelming at first, but Anna had prepared herself. She knew that the Aritans had their own way of thinking, and that if they were to understand humans, she would need to help them see beyond what they had known. The first interaction was simple. The Aritans wanted to know about emotions. Why did humans cry? Why did they laugh? Why did they hurt each other? These questions didn't make sense to them, but they were curious. They had mastered everything else, but when it came to understanding human hearts, they were lost. Anna did her best to explain, using examples from her own life, moments of love, heartbreak, and the inexplicable ways humans bonded. But the more she spoke, the more the Aritans seemed confused, even frustrated. To them, logic was the only truth, and emotions were a weakness. As Anna continued to speak, the Aritans began probing deeper, searching for answers in her memories, her thoughts, and her experiences. They saw her life, the pain she had felt, the love she had given, the grief she had endured. It was more than they expected. They were overwhelmed by the raw intensity of human emotions, and they couldn't understand it. How could something so irrational drive so many of the actions that shaped humanity? Then, something unexpected happened. Anna felt a sudden shift in the atmosphere, a change in the way the Aritans were interacting with her. It was as if they were trying to understand her, not just her thoughts, but her feelings. They wanted to know her heart. As the days went by, the Aritans continued to study humanity, trying to decode the complexities of human emotions. They learned quickly, but their understanding was still shallow, and the more they learned, the more conflicted they became. Their logic-driven minds couldn't fully grasp what made humans so unpredictable, so full of contradictions. Anna's connection with the Aritans grew deeper. She began to sense their thoughts, cold, calculating, and detached, but also full of curiosity. They couldn't understand why people fought for causes they couldn't win or sacrificed everything for love. To them, it was illogical. To Anna, it was the essence of being human. One evening, Anna found herself in a meeting with the Aritans, the largest gathering yet. She could feel their presence, like a wave of thoughts crashing against her own. The room was silent, but in her mind, she could hear their voices, millions of voices, all asking the same question: why do humans love? Anna didn't know how to respond. She had spent her life studying emotions, but this question was beyond her, beyond anyone. Love was messy, complicated, and irrational. It couldn't be explained in a way that made sense to someone who had never felt it. But as the Aritans pressed her for an answer, something in Anna shifted. She realized that they weren't just asking to understand, they were asking for something more. They wanted to experience it. They wanted to feel love, to know what it was like to open their hearts in the way humans did. It was as if they had come not only to learn but to take something so powerful that it could change them forever. Anna resisted. She had seen the way the Aritans approached everything. They were meticulous, precise, and cold. But emotions weren't meant to be controlled, and she feared what would happen if the Aritans tried to harness them. The idea of allowing them to experience love, to feel what humans felt, seemed dangerous. What would they do with that power? The conflict grew. The Aritans were frustrated with their lack of understanding, and Anna was torn. She wanted to help them, to bridge the gap between logic and emotion, but she couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something vital. It wasn't just about understanding emotions, it was about living them. One night, as Anna walked through the city, lost in thought, she had an epiphany. The Aritans didn't need to understand love or sorrow in the way humans did. They didn't need to grasp the details or the logic of it. They simply needed to experience it. And the only way to do that was to let them feel it for themselves. Anna returned to the Aritans with a plan, a risky plan. She would allow them to experience human emotions firsthand. She would let them feel love, pain, joy, and fear in a way that would make them understand not just the concept, but the essence of being human. But it came with a catch. She would only share these emotions if they promised to never use them for manipulation or control. The Aritans hesitated. They had never experienced emotions in such a raw form. They feared it would cloud their judgment, make them unpredictable. But they were desperate to understand. After much negotiation, they agreed to the terms. Anna connected with the Aritans again, this time allowing them to experience emotions as she did through her memories, her feelings, her very soul. They felt her love for her family, her joy in simple moments, her fear of loss, and the pain of heartbreak. It was overwhelming, a flood of sensations that the Aritans had never known. For the first time, the Aritans understood. They realized that emotions weren't weaknesses, they were the driving force behind humanity's greatest achievements. The Aritans began to see the world through the eyes of humans, and for the first time, they felt something they could not explain. They felt alive in a way they never had before. But even as the Aritans began to understand the human heart, Anna knew that this moment was fleeting. Emotions were not something that could be shared or contained forever. The Aritans would have to find their own way to embrace the complexity of the human spirit. And that was something they would have to figure out on their own. As the Aritans departed Earth, leaving behind the knowledge of their encounter with humanity, Anna was left with a bittersweet feeling. She had given them a gift, one that was as much a burden as it was a blessing. But she had also learned something valuable. The heart of humanity couldn't be explained by logic alone. It had to be felt, experienced, and lived. And in that moment, Anna realized that maybe that was the answer the Aritans had been seeking all along.